This was an easy answer. Lipa Park is a Slovenian organization, and Walter Ostanek's roots are Slovenian. Besides the Reichster, MPP, he has a presentation tonight.
Well, Walter and Irene, I don't know if you ever would have thought that the young blonde guy driving the mini bike next door was actually going to become the member of Parliament of St. Catharines. Well, I did want to certainly, on behalf of Kath and I, extend to you our congratulations. And from my mom and dad, Peter and Jane, they asked me to bring greetings from them as well, to say the very best to you, and obviously thank you for the friendship that you have given to them while we were neighbors on Royal York Drive. So thank you. I did want to read just two scrolls because you're celebrating a couple of things tonight, so I'll make sure that, that it goes quickly. On behalf of the Government of Canada, I wish to extend my warmest congratulations and best wishes to you, Walter and Irene Ostanek, on the occasion of your 50th wedding anniversary. As you commemorate this special milestone in your life, I wish both of you many more years of happiness together. And also on behalf of the Government of Canada, I wish to extend my warmest congratulations and best wishes to you, Walter Ostanek, on your celebration of 50 years in the music industry. As you mark this extraordinary achievement, I wish you many more years of wonderful music making and entertaining. And I would also like to thank you personally for your commitment to our family and the years we spent together as friends and next door neighbors. Well, it certainly is an honor to be here as a member of Parliament. I did want to also say, Walter, that as a young person, a young man and young boy growing up in St. Catharines, obviously the success that you've had as a musician across this country and across North America and the world has been a benefit to St. Catharines, and you've always done our community and our city very, very proud. But one of the things that I think means more than even that is the commitment that you and Irene and Cheryl and Rick have as a family, and the leadership that you've shown. And I know as a young fellow growing up next door, I certainly, while I appreciate and love the music, the influence you've had just to show that being a father, being a good guy is just as important and perhaps even more. So again, thank you very much. And everyone have a great evening. I understand there's a surprise guest that's going to be playing tonight.
At this time, I'd like to call on Jim Bradley, MPP of St. Catharines.
Thank you very much, and I've brought a lot of loot, both for Irene and Walter here this evening, and I know that they're going to be enjoying themselves not only tonight, but on August 5th when we can do this outside, and where there's a guarantee that there is no rain or snow that time. Now, the reason I have the loot is there are a couple of people who couldn't make it here this evening, but want to extend their congratulations, and I promised them that I would provide their scrolls as well to Irene and Walter, as I think I know that both Cheryl and Rick are very proud of the parents, and everybody here at Lipa Park is proud. I couldn't think of a better place to have this celebration. It's so logical that it's here at Lipa Park. Let me say that first of all, the Mayor of the City of St. Catharines, Brian McMullen, and his group, who are the City Council, sent along congratulations on the 50th wedding anniversary. I'll just read an excerpt from it. To Walter and Irene Ostanek, the Mayor and Council of the City of St. Catharines, take pride in the presentation of this certificate as you celebrate your 50th wedding anniversary. May all the special memories of your golden wedding anniversary celebration remain with you to enrich your marriage with good health and happiness for many years. And that's signed by Brian McMullen, Mayor of the City of St. Catharines. I have as well, and I'll ask you to come up, both of you, at the end of these presentations. I have one from a colleague of mine who represents part of the city of St. Catharines, and that's Mr. Peter Cormosa. He asked me to make this presentation on his behalf. He says, please accept my congratulations as you celebrate 50 years of marriage with family and friends at Lipa Park. I know you'll recall many fond memories as you mark this special milestone. He also congratulates you on your 50 years in music by saying, I'm delighted to join everyone at Lipa Park as you recognize a living legend and Canada's polka king, Walter Ostanek. Since the formation of the Walter Ostanek Band, that's had different people in it over the years, in 1957, millions of people across North America have been entertained with his polka and waltzes that have earned him 3 Grammy Awards and several nominations, and he expresses his congratulations. Then, the next one comes from myself, and I'm not going to read those because they're, Walter and Irene can read both of those, but one compliments him on his 50 years of success in the music business, and it's a personal note to Walter. And to Irene and Walter, I'll quote a little bit from it here. I'd like to join your family and many friends who are gathering this evening at Lipa Park to extend to you heartiest congratulations on a half-century, that sounds long, half-century of matrimonial bliss. Over the past 5 decades, you've accumulated many fond memories, experienced much joy, and I'm confident that this evening you'll be sharing those reminiscences with those around you. There's some more in there that I won't share with you because they are getting better. This is from the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario, James Bartleman. It says, as the Queen's representative in Ontario, it is my pleasure to extend best wishes to Walter and Irene Ostanek on your golden wedding anniversary. Congratulations on this happy occasion. May your commitment to each other bring the joy of shared memories and enduring friendship. And the Premier of the Province of Ontario says, as you celebrate this special milestone in your lives, I wish you continued happiness and love. Please accept my best wishes. That's signed by Dalton McGuinty, the Premier of the Province of Ontario. So you can see we have all of the congratulatory messages for Irene and Walter. And the last one is from the Premier. I told him on Wednesday when I was at a meeting that I was going to be here tonight extolling the virtues and congratulating Walter Ostanek. Now you have to remember, this guy's the Premier of the province, and he was in awe, saying, not the Walter Ostanek, not the Walter Ostanek I saw in Kitchener just a little while ago. So wherever I go, if I want to claim to fame, I don't tell them I know the Premier or the Prime Minister or anybody. I tell them I know Walter Ostanek. I'm going to read you this last one, and it reads as follows. Walter Ostanek, in the celebration of 50 years of musical achievement, and this is from the Premier, it says, on behalf of the Government of Ontario, I'm delighted to extend my warmest greetings to a musical icon unlike any other. It is my pleasure to add to the many accolades you have been offered over the years something else, and that's the more to those that you're getting this evening. Much has been said about the power of music. It is a source of joy and inspiration and a common language that bridges our differences and draws music lovers across the globe into communities. As Canada's foremost polka musician and 3-time Grammy Award-winning artist, you have created a unique and timeless sound that combines the best of polka with a country and western sensibility. Walter, you have done us proud. Please accept my best wishes for much continued success and personal fulfillment as you enter your 5th decade of achievement as a musical artist, beloved entertainer, and proud Canadian, signed by Dalton McGuinty, Premier of the Province of Ontario. I'm going to ask Irene and Walter to come forward to receive the lute right now.
I just want to say one thing about Mr. Bradley here. He's been a wonderful guy, and I have to say personally that I'm behind him 100%. And thank you very much, Mr. Bradley.
Thank you, Jim and Rick. Now, can I call on Jane? She's going to say grace, and then we're going to eat.
Congratulations, Walter and Irene. And let us just take a moment now to do a small reflection on why we're here tonight and about what we're going to be receiving this evening. Shall we bow our heads? In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit, amen. Heavenly Father, we now celebrate an Easter season, the new risen Christ, new life beginning. But we have so much to celebrate with the life that you've given us to date. 50 years of friendship, love in a family, music in the community. Please bless us all here this evening. Let us have a wonderful evening to rejoice. And please bless the food that we are about to eat. Amen. In the name of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, amen. Dobry tek.
Let's eat. Don't protect everybody. This is where we met Walter Ostanek at a Slovenian picnic about 5 miles from here. On number 8 highway across from Niagara Nurseries, above Krasovik's farm in Pitchick's Bush. We were about 12 years old, a few years before Walter became Canada's poker king. Now we have heard the rest of the story. Now we're at Irene, would you and Walter come up and get this presentation? Miss Lipa Park, would you give the flowers to Irene? And John Gurdon, would you give the plaque from Lipa Park to Walter and Irene? Now I'm going to turn the mic over to Tony Petkosik, Cleveland's polka ambassador, who is also Walter's cousin. Tony?
Thank you, and Baba Lipa. I do want to say it's a special honor for me to be your master of ceremonies. We're going to try to move this program along. We have some interesting presentations, probably on a more personal level coming up. I consider Walter one of my greatest friends, and as we have referred to my cousin ever since we discovered we actually were related through my mother's Gold family, the roots in the Dolensko region of Slovenia. That was an interesting meeting and reunion we had at that time. I happened to go to a family reunion that Walter had in the Trebna area of Dolensko, and Walter happened to ask me to go along, so I did. And it was there that we realized that through marriage and so forth, in that family, we were actually related. So I thought that was probably about 5 years ago, Walter. It's something that we'll never forget, and we've called each other cousin ever since. The always smiling And the real person he really is, Walter Ostanek, Ostanek, is without a doubt today the most important individual in Slovenian and Cleveland-style polka music throughout North America. Do you agree? Walter actually came to us from the small town of Duparquet, Quebec, back on April 20th, 1935. And that means you have a 72nd birthday coming up next week. So happy birthday, Walter. I'm sure we'll have a few happy birthdays from the band later. Walter, the son of Slovenian immigrants and born as Ladislav John Ostanek. Ostanek, interesting name, but it's also an actual Slovenian word. The true Slovenian meaning translates to, would you believe, a leftover? It really does. But you know, rather, this man, first-class gentleman, an innovative promoter with his own unique musical style. And what he's done with that is absolutely remarkable. Walter, as he would always be known thereafter, grew up in St. Catharines, and at age 9 began playing the button box. At 12, he went with the piano organ, and 4 years later, in 1951, formed his own combination country, western, and polka band. A couple of years later, he joined with the Canadian Ranch Boys that had appeared regularly on local radio. So Walter also had that love for country western, and still does. His true launching date in polka music was with his own official band when it was organized, and he was age 21, back on January the 26th, 1957, playing at the famous German village in Niagara Falls. This was when the Walter Ostanek Band became a reality. 1 month later, he would marry wife Irene on February the 22nd, 1957. They would eventually have 2 wonderful children, Richard, or Rick, and Cheryl, with their family homestead right in St. Catharines. He would then open the Music Center store on Geneva Street, which today is run by his son Rick and assisted by Walter's wife Irene. Rick, over the years, would also appear on bass in his dad's band. Can we have the Ostanek children please stand and take a bow? Rick and Cheryl. Nobody has earned the title of Canada's Polka King more than Walter. A man that has been Grammy nominated 20 times, think about this record, for his great album recordings. And his albums are not just another polka record or a polka album. They are some of the finest and best recordings in our entire field, because nobody invests more time, money, and expertise than Walter with the top professional sound that brought 3 major Grammy winners, and this is where we got to applaud. 92, 1993, and 94. Congratulations. Yes, these really became the highlights of his career. His award-winning albums are all-star productions with some of the best artists in the business. And I was with Walter, and actually Irene too, more than one time at these Grammy events, and what absolutely exciting times they were as we rubbed shoulders with some of the greatest recording stars in the entire world. But more than the Grammy nominations and awards, he has achieved over 100 proclamations and commendations from the national Canadian and even international organizations. Altogether, he also recorded a record 84 albums, with the latest to be released very soon, Together Again, a project with Bob Kravis, produced in Kravis's Chardon, Ohio studio. Walter's appeared on North American network shows like Johnny Carson, Phil Donahue, Lawrence Welk, Cleveland's Polka Varieties, Canada's Tommy Hunter, the Pig and Whistle Show, plus his own Polka Time series in Kitchener, and several years on Hamilton's Polka Party TV. There were benefit telethons and documentaries over the years, and currently on the Bravo Network TV, a special called The Cult to Walt, or The Cult of Walt, which we watched today actually in the bus, and our over 50 people from the Cleveland area really enjoyed the way that was all put together very professionally. And that's been shown, I understand, several times throughout Canada. Fascinating story of his musical career. He has done his own radio programs too, including 3 different shows on the Welland CHOW station, and appears usually whenever he's in Cleveland town on our long-running 46-year daily polka show, WELWN, 247polkaheaven.com on the internet. We actually met probably right in the mid-60s when our Thanksgiving events were really getting off the ground. After all, we started our first one, heaven forbid, it was the week President Kennedy was assassinated, and coincidentally it happened to be that week. But I think by 64 or 65, Walter came to Cleveland, and it was there that, since then, Walter has never missed. It's been an incredible record, one that I truly appreciate. And of the over 100 commendations Walter has received in his lifetime, none surpasses the highest honor from the Canadian government, the Order of Canada, that he achieved in April of 2007. That was presented by the Governor General, who was originally appointed by the Queen in Ottawa at a special celebration. The other remarkable awards included his induction into the International Polka Hall of Fame in Chicago, and as one of the very first 5, 20 years ago when we started, in the Cleveland-style Polka Hall of Fame, the Lifetime Achievement, and that was by acclamation, and rightfully so. He obviously was the only Canadian musician to do so. A major activity annually for the last 29 years, he's been the Kitchener Oktoberfest performer, while every summer day, 6 hours a day, 7 days a week, from June through September, for some 24 years, you'll find him playing for his good friend John Holler at the world-famous Marineland right in Niagara Falls. And I understand John Holler is here this evening. Let's hear it for John. His star is on the Canadian Walkway of Fame in Toronto, and his honorary Doctor of Law award, I'm just citing a few of these so you can see the variety of awards that he's received over the years. The Doctor of Law award was from Brock University in St. Catharines. And perhaps the most interesting statement to Walter in his time was from his accordion instructor. It was a Steve Boyuk. He's still around at age 91. He realized Walter had a lot of talent. And even though he may not have been that good with regular schoolwork, Mr. Boyuk told him, listen to this, whatever you do, if you're going to play accordion, don't get into polkas. What a mistake that would have been. So we're sorry, Mr. Boyuk. We're so happy and proud that Walter did, in fact, pursue polka music full-time and to the hilt as no one else. Because that's why we're all here today. And very happily, 50 years later, at this truly great celebration for a great person, personality, fellow Slovenian, and Canada's greatest polka promoter, musician. And all I can say, 1957 was indeed a truly big year. Congratulations. And you know, with all of this, there has to be harmony. Harmony with the music, and 50 years of harmony, and a wonderful marriage to Irene. And nobody promoted harmony in the music field better than Walter, as it's well testified with so many wonderful accolades that we've heard about over the years, plus the marriage for the past 5 decades. And isn't it wonderful we can all celebrate at this event tonight? It's a night I know the Ostaneks will never forget, and most of us will never forget either, just being here at the St. Catharines area Lipa Park Slovenian Club. So all we can say is congratulations to Walter, Irene, the Ostanek family, and also to Walter for being the main man in our polka business, best recognized throughout North America 50 years later. You are respected by your peers and also fellow musicians, and rightfully so. You've earned it indeed. Bravo, Walter Ostanek, you're a class act. We have some folks, and I thought maybe Walter and Irene should maybe come here to the front of the stage, that are going to make some very brief comments, statements, and in some cases presentations. You know, Walter met Irene, I understand, at the house of Ted Lankowski. And Ted, why don't you come up and say a couple words? Yeah, please, come on. No, we won't let you. 2 minutes.
Hi, in case anybody cares, my name is Ted Lankowski, and I grew up with Walter. They asked me to say a few words. I just don't remember whoever asked me, but I'm here anyway. I met Walter in 1950, which is 57 years ago. And I'll tell you, we hung around together. He met his wife Irene at my house. One Christmas, I had my wife, my friends. My wife, I shot her. He's got me all confused here. One Christmas, I had my friends over, and my sister had her friends over, and Walter and Irene met. And you know, he sort of got to look at me. The next day he called me, he said, Ted, I think I'm in love. The next day, I said, maybe you got heartburn. Take a couple of Rolaids and come Morning. He did, and the feeling, he called me, he said, the feeling's still there. It wasn't long before they got married. Okay? And the rest is history. But you know what? Walter and I were talking one day, he's describing his honeymoon. They went to this hotel, and he just get in a room and then knock on the door. Walter goes to the door, opens the door, and there's a drunk there. He says, sorry. Walter closed the door, went back to the room, getting ready, doing things. Well, don't think. It's not me. There's another knock on the door. He opens the door, the same drunk is there. He said, sorry. Well, he goes back, he's getting ready for bed. All of a sudden, there's another knock on the door. Same guy. He opened the door, there's a guy there. He says, sorry, he says. Walter closed the door, went back, get back in the bed. I don't know what you do in the honey, but I think you would get pretty cozy, eh? And there's a knock on the door. He opens the door, same goddamn drunk. The drunk sister and he said, what the hell did you do? Rent every room in this hotel? On this garage. That's why Walter was the leader. We played at weddings, dances, we had a lot of fun. But you know what? We called ourselves the Five Skins. And then Walter quit, and we didn't know what the hell to call ourselves. I was talking to Irene once, and she said, I'll never forget the time that Walter proposed to me. She says, I just about fell out of bed. Walter and I ran trips to Las Vegas and different areas, and we're sitting in a room having a cocktail in the afternoon in Las Vegas. And I just happened, every hotel room's got a Bible, eh? I just happened to flip the cover over and there's a note in there. If you're an alcoholic, please call this number. Walter says, why don't you call that number? So I called that number. It was the liquor store. He was, I remember a long time ago, he says he's married for 40 years. He says, and Irene and him only had one fight. He says that I never started for 4 days. Finally, on the fifth day, he says, one eye started to open. You guys got that? You want me to repeat that? Walter and Irene were talking one day, and he said, Ted, Walter said to me, Ted, you're 72 years old. He says, how is your sex life? I says, infrequent. And Irene, being as sharp as she is, she says, is that one word or two words? I've been retired now from General Motors for 21 years, but I remember when I just retired, I'm watching the Phil Donahue, I'm having a cup of coffee in the morning, and they had a bunch of senior citizens between 80 and 90. Between 80 and 90, and they're claiming that they're having sex 3 times a week. And I said, Jesus Christ, I'm not doing that good. I can't wait to be 80. I remember Walter told me once, he said, Ted, life is short. You have to get married to make it seem longer. That's words of advice from the king. Getting back to Walter's career, Tony just about covered everything. He never misses anything. He doesn't leave much for me. Anyway, he had the Order of Canada and Walk of Fame and all this other award, 3 Grammys. I forgot about that. You didn't, but I did. And since my time is up, and they told me 10 times already, too long. Otherwise, you'll end up back in Poland, delivering the newspapers. I like to say that Walter and Irene are one of my best friends. I love them both. We always have good times, we socialize, we have a lot of fun. I can't explain some of the situations, but we have a good time, okay? And before I leave, In fact, I knew them when they were poor. I knew them when they were poor. I think very much now, I have to leave because they told me my time is up. And told me he's got two guys from the mafia. They're gonna kill me. Okay? You know what? I'm gonna, if everybody would get up and stand and give Walter and Irene a big hand. Okay? Happy 50th anniversary. Winning wine, music. Thank you. And thank you for the standing ovation. Love you, love.
How do we follow that act? Ted Linkowski. You know, we're continuing here. In fact, you better stay up here, Walt and Irene, because now we're going to get to your wedding time here because we've been enjoying a delicious meal. How about the delicious meal tonight, ladies and gentlemen? But at our table, we have the best man. And Spike, a few comments from Spike Williams. Let's hear it from the best man of 50 years ago.
Thank you very much. I'd like to go back a few years, if you don't mind, and tell you a few stories. 50 years ago, Walter and I was in a band. And every girl in Ontario was chasing Walter. He was beating him off with a stick. He still has the same problem, but he uses shorter stick. But anyway, every week he'd come to the dance, it would be a different girl. Some of them lasted a couple of weeks, but most of the time it was a different girl every week. We'd say, here comes Walter with another one. But he figured, they should all have a turn. It's only fair. Then one day he walked in with Irene. Brought her over to the table, introduced her. She turned on that magic smile of hers, and I said to myself, there's a lady. After that, it wasn't, here comes Walter with another one. It was, here comes Walter with Irene. Of course, in my case, I say, here comes Irene with Walter. But anyway, I said to one of the guys, you know something? Walter's going to marry that girl. He says, you're crazy. Never happened. I said, I'm telling you, I feel magic here. Walter's going to marry that girl. No, he said, can't happen. I said, tell you what I'll do. I'll bet you the best bottle of whiskey they make that Walter marries Irene. He says, you're on. Well, needless to say, I won the bottle, and I was lucky enough to be best man. Now, they always say behind every successful man, there's a good woman. Well, by golly, we found a good one 50 years ago, and she's still the best. So, Irene, please take care of Walter. We need him. And by the way, you're just as lovely as ever. Thank you very much. Throw me up there. I'm not
Thank you very much, Spike Williams, best man. Now we have a great friend, former partner early in the game, I'm told. Irene, don't run away because we're going to still, I'm sure, make some presentations here. But Ray Bukovic, I met many years ago, and Ray, we'd like for you to come up and give your own personal remarks, if you would. Just a couple words, please. Throw us a message. Let's hear it for Ray Bukovic.
Hey Ray, at least you can smile.
Thank you very much, Tony, and good evening, Irene.
And Walter, you know, I got screwed. They lined up Taju before me. Taju, you had 5 minutes, I timed you. You're supposed to be there for 2 minutes, and they always give me a time limit because Walter doesn't like to hear what is the truth of Walter. Don't you believe it that he is what you think he is? I know him better. He was my partner. That's the only time I made no money. We traveled together. I took him to Europe to tell him where his parents come from, and the same goes for Tony. He never paid me for the gas.
Oh, yes, I did.
He bought a couple plates of prosciutto, and believe it or not, I had to sleep with him in the same hotel, but not in the same room. I don't want to abuse my privilege to talk to you, both, simply because I don't read nothing, I don't read nothing. Simply because I dislike Walter from the first day I met him. Irene is the lady that really put me off when I had some problems. I didn't pay $2 bill at Walter Ostanek store. But in years, we sort of was spooning it up. Irene loves me now. And Walter, it is my good friend. We share every day together in the summer in a certain place that you all know it, and that is Marineland. And Irene is the best, I'm telling you, ladies and gentlemen, the best promoter of Walter Ostanek. If I can say it, and if I'm allowed for one more minute, I will tell you how good she is. Walter would come to Marineland, and I know that the boss is here, and I don't give a damn, he can hear it. The Walter would come in there to work in Marineland, where I work too. The difference between two of us is that I work in the castle, and he works in the shack. I'm in the air-conditioned castle, and Walter sweats in the shack. They call it Fagilni. I watched Irene one day when she was there. Boy, it was a rainy day. Pouring. Walter, you know? There is nobody on the floor. The ladies who look after the tables and chairs, they pull them aside, they clean up the cover so that it will be dry for the people who might come later after the rain. There is nobody there. Well, wonderful skating. You know, his big white teeth. Irene was there too. I didn't know it that she was with the newsman from one of the papers in Niagara Peninsula. I picked up the paper next day. This is what Irene, how she brainwashed this reporter. What it said was, Walter Ostanek was playing a game in front of standing ovation only. Would you believe that? And Walter Ostanek was fantastic. And she was going on and on and on and on. Damn it, there was nobody there. I thought the woman was more for some, but no, never mind. Wally, I don't love you, but I like you. Thanks for inviting us.
I'm sure that Walter, you will be acknowledging the many musicians that are here, especially from the Canadian end, but I do want to mention we have a couple of special musicians that came with us on our busload, and one of them is from the remarkable Vadnal family of many years in Cleveland, all of those wonderful Vadnal brothers and sister, who, were originally guided by Mom at the old Slovenian workman's home. And it's such a wonderful pleasure to introduce a man that was a true star, especially in the 1970s on so many tours to Europe and Slovenia. Ladies and gentlemen, Richie Vadnal. Thank you, Rick. Then we have another gentleman who probably has the track record for being the, most on any recordings, including all of Pecan's, for instance, but many, many more, and many of yours too, and your very first one too. Ladies and gentlemen, probably a lot of you remember this gentleman from the band Markic Zagar, but Al Markic, an excellent lifetime Hall of Famer himself, is also with us on the bus. Al Markic. When I was going down the list of unique honors recently, your neighbor business there in St. Catharines, Arts Lunch, named a room for you, right, Walter Ostanek? So that's where all of your friends meet on a regular. Lipa Park people too, right? Okay. So if you're ever in that vicinity of Geneva Street, right next door to the store, Arts Lunch, you'll see Walter Ostanek's room there. That's a unique honor too. We have some folks here. We were talking about Marineland. Marineland is probably the biggest attraction besides the falls themselves. And I just wanted to acknowledge again John Holler, if he's here to take a bow, please. John Holler. Thank you very much, John. Wonderful, wonderful place. Something you could really be proud of. Originally from, I think, the Maribor region of Slovenia. That's a true Canadian story, right? I mean, a real, how you could make it in Canada. Really, it's wonderful. We have a couple of gentlemen from the Polka television show that you were involved with, the program director, Don Wilcox, and also Kenny Grume. He was Henning Grume, Henning Grume. If these two gentlemen are in the audience, please take a bow. Thank you very much. And I know the inspiration for so much of what Walter does came from the all-time greatest polka king, Frankie Yankovic. And, we're delighted to have with us not only his great-nephew, the band leader, but his father, who is the actual nephew, whose mother was the sister to Frankie, right, Bob? Let's have you come up along with your lovely wife, Beverly, and also Bobby Kravis. We have a presentation from the gang here to make to Walter from Cleveland. So the Kravises, if they would, let's hear it for them. Bob Kravis is currently also engineering Walter's latest recordings, and we'll make a presentation.
Thank you, Tony. Well, before I get started here, first of all, I shut my cell phone off. Let you know. Okay. Jack says hello. And I also left the homemade wine at home this time. But on behalf of yours truly, Bob Kravis and the boys of the band, Tony Pekosek, and the Cleveland Bus Group, I'd like to thank you guys for coming out. I'd like to present Walter this plaque, 50 golden year milestone, Walter Ostanek in polka music. Walter and Irene's happy marriage from Cleveland Bus Group, Tony Pekosek, Bob Kravis, and the boys in the band. And I would personally like to thank Walter and Irene for your friendship and everything you taught me in the music and giving me a chance to be on your recordings. If it wasn't for you, we wouldn't get the Grammys. And good luck.
We also presented a card that everyone signed on the bus coming down here earlier today. The name Gordon Pomerantz is the gentleman that you were involved with when you worked in clothing, right? Haberdashery. And Gordon is here this evening. And Gordon actually was there at a crucial time because he allowed you to pursue your music interests, right, in vocals. So we'd like to have Gordon Pomerantz, if he would come up here and say a few words. Distinguished businessman. Let's hear it for this gentleman.
I happened to be at the wedding, on the first wedding date for Irene and Walter. Now, my main thing with Walter was when he was a salesman working for me was there was another gentleman there that thought he was stronger than Walter. And they'd get together and start wrestling. And I wasn't watching, and I'd catch him. And I had to referee. And Walter is very, very strong. And the only thing I have against Walter is when he left me, he signed up a Frenchman for my manager. It took me 20 years to get rid of him. I was at the wedding for when they both got married together. I don't remember if I gave him a week's vacation or 2 weeks. A day. And that was to pay it. But anyway, I'm very glad to be here today. I never thought I'd get past 70, but that's the only mistake I made in my life. I didn't budget right. And good luck to you for the future.
Mr. Pomerantz, how old are you?
I'll be 84 this year. I was budgeting for 70.
We have one more distinguished gentleman we'd like to present, a former member of Parliament, a very dear friend of Walter. It's obvious because he's sitting at our main table there. Let's welcome Walter Listoka.
Thank you very much, Tony. Walter and Irene, Congratulations on your 50th wedding anniversary and your 50 years in music. But before I begin, I'd like to say a congratulations to the organizing committee and Slavinsky Narodny Dom for all the work that you've done in making this such a success today. Congratulations to all. It's an honor for me to say a few words. Congratulations to Walter and Irene, and I'm subbing for Member of Parliament John Maloney, who's the member for Welland St. Catharines, who couldn't be here tonight, and he's passed on 2 certificates, which I won't read. One is for your 50th wedding anniversary, and one is for your 50 years in music. Walter and I go back many years. The time I was about 17, 18 years old. So that just tells you how many years we go back. We go back in the time when he started his band, and he used to travel from hall to hall, and there was always a group that went from hall to hall to be with him and enjoy the music. And over the years, we've been friends and acquaintances, and over the years, my wife Carol, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, she just had surgery, so she wishes you well. But over the years, we've talked about the wears on his lapel. It's an honor because it's called the Order of Canada, and not too many people from the Niagara region have ever been able to be honored in such a way. It was my pleasure when I was Member of Parliament to be there with him and with his wife Irene and my wife Carol to see this presentation, and how proud it was that someone from Niagara had been recognized for outstanding service, not only in the music world, but also for the work he does in the community. And that's my second item. You know, when there's time for some help for some organization to get a fundraiser going or get some recognition going for whether it be community care or whether it be the Children's Center to help children who have disabilities, who's there? Walter and his music to help kick off a successful campaign. In fact, this past week we raised over $35,000 for Children's Center, and Walter was there leading the procession. To me, that's very important. To me, it is important that you give back to the community and you never forget the community. And that's where I'd like to conclude. The fact that Walter Ostanek and Irene and family give back to the community almost every week, every month. And I would like to now read a letter from the Leader of the Opposition. I am pleased to offer you my very best wishes as you celebrate your 50th wedding anniversary. Over the years, you have worked hard, hand in hand, in order to nurture your love. I hope this special occasion brings you great joy and happiness and adds to the wonderful memories that you have gathered over the course of this journey. Your commitment to each other is a truly admirable accomplishment, and I congratulate you both. Please accept my very best wishes for many more happy years together. On a personal note, I would like to take this opportunity to congratulate Walter on the occasion of his 50th year in music. Throughout your career, you have distinguished yourself as one of Canada's most eminent musicians, and I wish you continued success for the future, signed by the Honorable Stéphane Dion, which just happens to have a picture of Walter and Stéphane in it at the same time. So congratulations to you both, and good health.
And on that note, Walter, we are concluding this program of commendation to you and to Irene. And we'd like to hear a few words from you, and perhaps even Irene. I know that Irene is usually not in the spotlight, but you're more than welcome. So let's welcome our honorees, Walter and Irene.
ladies and gentlemen, it's indeed a pleasure to be here this evening. First of all, I'm going to talk real fast because we got to get the music going. We're paying this Bobby Kravis band and the boys in the band, and so far all they've been doing is eating and drinking. All right, let's get quick. Tony Krashevic and all of the people at Lipa Park made this possible, ladies and gentlemen. Let's give them a nice round of applause. Also the ladies and the servers, the ladies in the kitchen and the servers, a nice round of applause. I'm very proud. I have a great family. I have a beautiful wife, Irene, and I have a great son, Richard. Stand up, Richard. And my daughter, Cheryl. I'm blessed. Come on up here, Richard and Cheryl, please. Okay, I also have a great family. I personally don't have anybody in Canada, but Irene has Bessie, Helen, Linda, Margaret, and John, and they are my sister-in-laws and brother-in-law. Stand up, please. And I am very proud of my family. And Ronnie and all the rest, thank you very, very much. All right, let's see here. If I goof up, I apologize. And Ted Lankowski, I met my wife at Ted Lankowski's house, and like I said, Helen used to go out with Irene, and that's how I met on Christmas Eve. We used to go to Buffalo every Sunday to the dances, and real quick, we used to take 3 girls, and the 3 boys would sit in the front, and 3 girls in the back. Anyway, that's the way my life was. Well, I learned a lot from Teddy, yeah. And I can't thank Tony Pekosik enough. Let's give him a nice round of applause. Also, Bobby Kravis in the band. Let's give him a nice round of applause. John Girl, Mel McCroskey, Frank O'Kickey, John Girl, and Bobby Kravis, naturally, yeah. So, thank you. And my boys in the band, we have Paul Lozon, Mr. and Mrs. Paul Lozon, Mr. and Mrs. Murad Gundes, Mr. and Mrs. Brian Leger. I was going to say Mr. and Mrs. Steve Kostick, but he is not married yet. And my original saxophone player that played on my first album and my first single, and that is Andy Spinoza. Okay? Mr. and Mrs. Murray McFadden over here. Yes. Stand as I'm mentioning your names, please. All of you stand. And also on the first album was Mr. Al Markic. Mr. Al Markic. Mr. and Mrs. Al Markic. And actually, we've been doing a lot of recording. Ronnie and Patty Sluga. Mr. and Mrs. Mark Habit. By golly, here he plays on albums. And I remember him when he was pooping in his pants. Yeah. And when we went for our honeymoon, we went to Cleveland, Ohio. Where did we go? We went to see his mom and dad. Okay? Eddie Habit. Yes. And we got my manager over here. So far, he isn't wearing my T-shirt or hat or jacket, but John and Francis Dromnich are here too, and he's my manager. Yes. And Victor Hagan, he's taking all the pictures over there on camera. And we have a famous hockey player that's here with his lovely wife Shirley. Ladies and gentlemen, he also has some books if anybody wants to buy one, because he told me he doesn't need the money, but the people he owes it to want it. Danny Lewicki. Where's Danny Lewicki? Stand up, Danny. To the left. Where? Oh, there he is. He's standing up. All right. My friend Danny Lewicki and his lovely wife. And we got to keep her going here. Lee and Ann Smith are over here because I have recorded a tune called Lee and Ann's Polka, and I didn't realize that so many people are going to learn it. But the thing is that they've been wonderful people to me over many, many years. Stand up, Lee and Ann Smith. And I can't thank John and Marie Holder. I mean, 23 years I've been in Marine Land, and unless we're fired right now, we'll be here for the 24th. But thank you, Mr. and Mrs. John Holder. And Ray and Olga Vukovic, they've been my friends and family for a long, long time. Gordon and Frida Pomerantz, Aaron and Joan Pomerantz, And Jill and Jane are here from Cleveland, Ohio. They're dear friends of mine too. I'm going to forget somebody. Henny Grumet, I can't thank him enough. We're going to Pettigrew, Nova Scotia in September. And Mr. and Mrs. Don Wilcox, they're here. And you know, he's a St. Catherine's boy. I worked for the War Surplus store on one side of St. Paul Street, and he worked for Al Head's Menswear across the street, and we used to clean the streets and wash the windows at the same time. And then he became my boss at CKCO in Kitchener, Ontario for many years, and I can't thank him enough in his lovely way. Thanks. Stand up, all of you, please. Thank you. And the Pomerantz family, too. Okay, Andy did that. It's almost over, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. and Mrs. Richie Vadnal, Mr. and Mrs. Al Markick, Johnny Koenig Jr. His father used to hire me in New York City. The gentleman passed away, but his boy is making his home now in Cleveland, Ohio, and he has an album out for sale, and he has some with him. Stand up. Where's Johnny? Johnny Koenig. There he is. 19 years old. And the guy that hires me all the time in West Lauren, Mr. and Mrs. Joe Fisher and the gang. Let's give them a nice round. Niagara Button Boxers that were playing for your enjoyment. Let's give them a nice round of applause. And we're going to have all kinds of guests. Dennis Ulick and Charlie Tomasek and Mary Lou Downs. They're here from down Chatham Way. Let's give them a nice round of applause. Spike and Irene Williams, John Rubik, my good buddy for many years. Matter of fact, we introduced him to Irene's cousin, and they got married many years ago. And John Ferfolier is here too. He had a lot to do. I just have a brand new button accordion. And John, thank you very much, buddy. He wants the damn case back. I can't understand. He gives me the damn accordion, I got no case to put it in. But it's got my name on it, Lomsinger, yes. And a surprise also, we have Mr. and Mrs. Joe Fedorchak that are here. Yes. So stand up, Joe, my good buddy. You know what he said about me? He says, the only thing I like about you, you married a Slovak girl. Tony. Also, my buddy over here, Stan Drobnich, we've had many, many good times together, and I did give him a couple of lessons. His father would say to him when I gave him lessons, how did he do? Stan would come to the car, he says, oh, I did pretty good. Then he'd ask me, how did he do? I said, not too good. So Slovenian style, give him a whack across the head. But anyway, he forgave me about that. But ladies and gentlemen, I know I forgot some folks out there, but you know what? John Sever and Mary Sever. John, you're off the hook. Yeah, you don't have to look after my kids. He is the godfather to my both, to Cheryl and to Rick. If you notice, they look pretty good. And you're off the hook as of tonight. And 50th anniversary, Ted Lankowski said always that if I wasn't happy, I could bring my wife back and you'd get me a new model. But he told me, he says, on your 50th anniversary, you're on your own. The guarantee is over because you didn't take an extended warranty. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, let's get some music going. Thank you. God bless. Thank you for coming. And I just want to say I'm the happiest guy in the world. Thank you. Congratulations and let's love you. Walter and Irene and the Ostanek family.
you make my dreams come true. You thrill me with your kisses so divine. My heart longs for you, Roberta, please be mine. Moje dekle jeszcze lata. Moje dekle jeszcze lata. Moja dekle jeszcze lata. Moja dekle jeszcze lata. Come starszy stański. Just a late you'll chahaku, just a late you'll chahaku, just a late you'll chahaku, kapo stare fajsy. Kante gości wam reczą, ryty mi powiada, kante woźno Magellan. Porque cię zabezam. Alabą, mio separabą. Tamty nikaj mingo zdać. Moje oczy, oje. Tamte puści wam reczę, ryty mi powiada, tamte morko Magellan, punko cię zawyza. Alabą, mio separabą. Tamty nikaj mingo zdać. Moje oczy.
Here's one by my great uncle Frank, America's polka king, just because. Just because you think you're so pretty, just because you think you're so hot, just because you think you got something that nobody else has got. You cause me to spend all my money. You left and called me old Santa Claus. Well, I'm telling you, baby, I'm through with you just because. Just because.
Well, if Frankie Yankovic, America's polka king, was here today, it would sound a little bit like this. Just because see a bella bella, bella bella. Just because see a prociona, prociona. Just because see a muskrata, muskrata. That nobody else is a gata. This my bills yet, moja Nadia, moja Nadia. Auscher jest in the Klaus. Yes, that's how the bush sums it too. Sums it too. Everybody sing. Just because you think you're so pretty. Just because you think you're so hot. Just because you think you got something that nobody else has got. You cause me to spend all my money. You laugh and call me old Santa Claus. Well, I'm telling you, baby, I'm here with you just because. Just because. Here we go, boys! Sit down by your love that night with you, lady, when first we met. We danced in a world of blue. How can my heart forget? Blue were the skies and blue were your eyes, just like the blue skirt you wore. Come back, blue lady, come back. Don't be blue anymore. One night when I heard an orchestra play, I met you where lights were bright and people were carefree and gay. You were beautiful lady in blue. I was in heaven just waltzing with you. You filled me with strange delight, and softly you stroll away. Everyone sing. I dream of that night with you, lady, when first we met. We danced in a world of blue. How can my heart forget? Blue were the skies and blue were your eyes, just like the blue skirt you wore. Come back, blue lady, come back. Don't be blue anymore. Oh, yeah.
Beautiful blue skirt waltz. Here's what everybody
and sing along. A little bit of la la la. Okay, everybody. La la la. La la la. La la la. La la la. Okay, here we go one more time. La la la. 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 Thank you. Here's one called Cremona Steinerstone. Cremona Steinerstone. Lerai Kadelayo. Lerai Kadelayo. Lubit Centri. Parvaya Kuhansa. Blugaya Kelmersa. Prejaya Lubisa. Smoga Sensa. Cremona Steinerstone. Lerai Kadelayo. Lerai Kadelayo. Lubis Centri. Parvaya Kuhansa. Rudaya Kelmersa.
Приезжай, любится своя сердца.
Look at me, I'm still crazy over you. You want to be in pictures, and look at us, still believing in each other. If you want to see how true love should be, then just look at us. In 100 years from now, I know without a doubt, they'll all look back and wonder how we made it all work out. Chances are we'll go down in history if you want to see how. Let's have applause, Walter and Irene, 150 golden anniversary. Thank you, guys. Yeah, but they danced and they danced 'cause the room had no bed. Here's one by Mr. Joey Miskelin. Remembering isn't an easy thing. When all I remember are the good times that we've shared. Your soft red lips, the touch of your fingertips, how we love each waking day. Now love, you're gone, and the hurt lingers on, and tomorrow's just another time to cry. Can't go on without you, dear. Each day brings just one more tear, but I go on remembering the love that passed me by. isn't an easy thing when all I remember are the good times that we've shared. Your soft lips, the touch of your fingertips, how we love each waking day. Now love, you're gone, and the hurt lingers on, and tomorrow's just another time to cry. Can't go on without you, dear. Each day brings just one more tear, but I go on remembering the love that passed me by. Can't go on without you, dear. Each day brings just one more tear, but I go on remembering the love that passed me by. Remembering. Thank you. Here's one called The Keys in the Mailbox. Oh, jealous me and careless you, the odds were just too great. I couldn't take those lonely nights, you made me sit and wait. I thought I'd seen the last of you as you walked right out of sight. Instead I see you in my dreams each night. The keys in the mailbox, come on in. I'm sitting here and wishing, dear, I had your love again. I never even asked you where you've been. The keys in the mailbox, come on in. I said I'd rather be alone than to share your company. I said don't come around at all if you want more than me. But sitting here alone, I can't deny this flame that burns. I'd gladly take you back on any terms. The keys in the mailbox, come on in. I'm sitting here and wishing, dear, I had your love again. I never even asked you where you've been. The keys in the mailbox, come on in. Oh, jealous me and careless you, the odds were just too great. I couldn't take those lonely nights, you made me sit and wait. I thought I'd seen the last of you as you walked right out of sight. Instead I see you in my dreams each night. The keys in the mailbox, come on in. I'm sitting here and wishing, dear, I had your love again. I never even asked you where you've been. Keys in the mailbox, come on in. The keys in the mailbox, come on in. The keys in the mailbox, come on in.
my right is Zdravko Augustin from Oakville and his lovely wife Susan from Oakville. And our drummer is in the back, John Zarek from St. Catharines, and I'm Ruth Razel from Beamsville, and that's the Niagara Button Boxers right now.
To my right, behind me. Get over here. Get up. Behind me is Andy Mitch from Kingsville, Ontario. At the back, to his left is my uncle Charlie Thomasek and his wife Mary Lou Downs. And to my left is Mr. Walter Ostanek. Woohoo! To my right is Ron Sluga. Woohoo! I'm Dennis Ulick. Took my bed from me. Yeah, correct.
You know, the Dennis, I had the pleasure of playing their wedding, 26 years ago? This June. 26 years ago, I had the pleasure of playing their wedding. So, and you know, we have Mr. and Mrs. Kukovica here. I played their wedding. I don't know, that was a long time ago. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I know that I've forgotten some names, but I apologize. But thank you very, very much for coming. Let's give these nice folks a nice round of applause here.
pair of button boxers, and my good buddy, Mr. Ulick, Dennis Ulick, and the button box buddies from Chatham, Ontario, and wherever. But, boy, okay? Go Danny Boy.
You know, I haven't sang in about a year and a half, and he hits me with Danny Boy. Danny, this is for you. Oh, Danny Boy, the pipes are calling. From Glenty Glen and down the mountainside, the summer's gone and all the leaves are falling. It's you must go and I must buy. But come ye back when summer's in the meadow, and when the voice and what we sow, for I'll be here in sunshine or in shadow. Oh, Danny boy, oh, Danny boy, I love you so. I'd also like to do this for all of our folks who are kind enough to come all the way from Cleveland, Ohio, and to my table. Thank you for allowing us to join us and the great Richie. It truly is a pleasure to be with you tonight. And when you come, you fall the leaves of time. And I shall hear song each other again. In peace till you come to me.
Murray and I met. My singer before, John Libra, and he's supposed to be here tonight too. He's supposed to be coming near the end of the night. And he's working tonight, but Murray McFadden, we played for a Slovenian guy out in, where was it? King Carden. And we played at the Windsor Hotel for Oktoberfest. Well, we came there, and right away, they said, come on to the bar and have some drinks. So we went to the bar, and the first thing the boys, the two sons said, well, I want to let you know that for the weekend, all the drinks and all the food is on us. So you can, whatever you want to drink, whatever you want to eat, it's on us. But we want to tell you also that tomorrow morning, and for breakfast and for lunch and for supper, you are eating with the family. And then they gave us the best rooms in the hotel. And Murray McFadden played there before as a single. He says, Walter, there's something wrong with this picture. He says, I played before, I got no drinks, I got no food, and I was in the back room where the windows were broken, and we had a Coca-Cola bottle for an ashtray. Okay? And anyway, that was the start of Murray McFadden and myself for Kashmirlis, our Slovenian friends in King Carden at the Windsor Hotel. And from there on, we've been friends. And like I said, Murray has been recording with us. He's very busy now, but somewhere along the line, we still have time to get together and record a few tunes. And Murray, I love you, my friend.
Walter, it's always a pleasure.
Okay, hold on. I got one of my friends. I'd rather be sorry for someone. One, two, three.
If you hurt me, you won't be the first or the last in a lifetime of many mistakes. But I won't spend tomorrow regretting the past for the chances that I didn't take. 'Cause I'll never know till it's over if I